Alex Rider, I'll tell you where Alex Rider came from. First of all, Alex Rider, when I was at school, the biggest adventure and excitement for me was to go every year to the James Bond films. That's what I grew up with. That once a year, you know, the cinema would open with this film on. And I remember, there are some people in this audience, I can see some men here who are about my age, and we all remember, don't we, the moment when that girl, Ursula Andress in Dr. No, came out of the water wearing the white bikini. You know, that was a big day for me. It was the day my voice broke.
How old were you?
God,
my God, you were only 8 years old.
What?
Because that movie came out in 1962. You were born in 1954.
53. Yeah, I was about 9, 10 years old.
Yeah, 9, 10 years old.
So it was a big day anyway, the film of that. I loved the James Bond films. And you asked me where Alex Rider came from, I think. Is that what we're talking about?
So it was lesson 1 for your sex education.
Well, no, we're not going to go that. We're not talking about that with young people here in this audience.
No, they're more erudite than you. In that field.
Anyway, the trouble with the James Bond films was that James Bond got too old. You know, I loved Sean Connery as James Bond, and I liked Roger Moore, but do you know how old Roger Moore was when he played James Bond for the last time? Who said that? You're an expert. You were at my talk the other day. You're cheating. Yes, he was 57 years old, and as I said, the gadgets in that film were hidden in his walking frame. I recognize you. I know your name and I know where you live. Be careful. So, for me, it came into my head, wouldn't it be great if James Bond was a teenager, if he was young again? That was sort of the whole idea. When I write the James Bond books, I'm thinking very visually about the character. And there are some things that kids can do that adults can't do. For example, you know, when I think of James Bond, of Alex Rider, sorry, in Point Blank, there is a sequence where Alex is captured. I love this sequence. He's captured in a castle in France, and he's up in the mountains, and all around there's snow, but there's no snowboards and there's no skis, and if he doesn't escape, he's going to be cut up as an experiment in biology class the next day. So what does he do? He steals an ironing board, and he turns it upside down. Using a gadget, he cuts the legs off the ironing board, and then he snowboards down the snow on the ironing board, chased by guys on ski-mobiles, on motorbikes, with Uzi machine guns. Now, when I write that, I have to visualize it. And I can only visualize, you know, that boy there in the front row. I can see you as Alex Rider on that snowboard racing down the mountain. That, to me, I can see it. But if I imagine your dad on the snowboard, isn't that a bit sad? You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but you know, there are some things old people shouldn't do. And so that's where it came from. So Alex Rider came out of that sort of desire to sort of, you know, just to make Bond young again. Alex is very different to James Bond, though. Whereas James Bond is a patriot, young people today are not patriotic. Are you expecting a call? Sorry.
Doing some notes.
Oh, notes, okay. So Alex is also a reluctant spy. He doesn't want to be a spy like James Bond, and he's very, very different. I have to say that the name was very important for the character. You know, in a book, the name of a person is the first thing you know about them is the name. And so as it happened, when I was writing Alex Rider, the books, before I had a name, a boy came to lunch with me. He was the son of one of my friends. And this boy spoke 2 languages, and he was very into karate and one of the martial arts.
Kung Fu.
Not Kung Fu. Yes, that
Taekwondo.
One. Yes.
Taekwondo.
And he was into that and such. So I used this boy as the character, as the template for the character, and I called the boy Alex after this boy. I then went to about 20 or 30 schools to check on this name because I used children a lot as research. And I described the character a lot, and I said, if you could name this character, what name would you give him? And I got a list of something like 200 names, but the name that came up most often was Alex, and so that was the choice of name. Yeah. In case you're wondering, the name at the bottom of the list, Maurice. Don't know why, but there you are. The name Rider, where did Rider come from? It came from cowboys. They ride on horses in the West. Knights in medieval literature, to kill the dragon, they ride on a horse. So Rider is a good action name. Also, you remember Ursula Andress in the white bikini? Her name in the film, Honey Child Rider. And so I'm thinking to myself that Alex is sort of the son of Sean Connery and Honey Child Rider, and that's where he's come from.